Hey everyone, this is smpratte, and today we're going to talk about some affordable options to collect in 2021. Right now, Pokemon is extremely optimized and competitive. However, majority of the items are still very affordable and accessible. So I wrote down a long list of options to go through, starting at about $100 and ending at zero. There's going to be something in here for everyone. We're going to start with an idea that's very basic. I got to assume the viewer knows nothing at all, so we got to start super basic, and that is buy online. I don't care if it's modern product being scalped. I don't care if it's, new promos from Japan. You have to get used to buying online. Yes, it's frustrating going to Target and not being able to find whatever item it is on the shelf, but I'd rather sit at home in my sweatpants and my slippers and click a button and have it delivered to me in 48 hours. I'm all about the Amazon Prime Premium. I'm all about paying a little bit extra to do less work, to get in a car, go to a store, be disappointed, come home salty. I'd rather just sit at home and do all that in a matter of seconds, just pay a little bit more for that. So you have that option for modern. Yes, you're paying a little bit more. I think that will come down over time. Pokemon's aware of the supply chain issue. There is more being dripped into the market, by the way. Shining Fates had more than most people thought. Right now, there's I think 3,700 listings of Shining Fates ETBs and more to come. So therefore, that means more competition driving down the price point. So buying online is step one. Now, getting into the good stuff, getting into the details. Next up, we have singles, especially modern singles right now. I have never experienced a better value ratio for modern singles versus the product. It's unreal. Just if you go right now, go to Troll and Toad, go to a big store that rips thousands of boxes open, check out those single prices. You could buy almost half of a set for the price of one ETB or one booster box. To me, that's unreal. Now, I know certain sets have a never-ending amount, a whole army of hyper rares, secret rares, whatever. But at the end of the day, majority of that set that you're trying to complete, especially with things like Shining Fates or the sets that have the half art shinings and those little cool cards or hollow cards like that, it's unreal how cheap they are. The other side of the coin of all these people ripping, flipping, dipping, scalping, whatever, the other side of the coin is that's a lot of stuff being opened. The easiest way to break this down, Champions Path Charizard. Same pop in 4 months as Evolution Charizard in 4 years. What does that tell you? The amount of product being opened today is not only more, but it happens faster. Therefore, you have so many more singles out there in the market. There's so many singles in your area waiting just for you. So there you go. There's a lot of singles right now. It's unreal the value you can get if that's your thing. If you're about doing sets and putting together a binder, it's unbelievable. One other thing to throw in there, Modern objectively has the most diverse range of artists in the history of Pokemon. I don't care if you like them or don't like them, you want to ban 5-ban or you like 5-ban. The variety of artists today in modern sets is unparalleled. It's unbelievable. You have old guys like Arita, Sugimori, Komiya, even Uyama is doing more in modern than he ever did back in the day. He got up off the couch, took off the slippers and sweatpants and got to work. You have all these new artists in there. There's such a great variety. Again, just compounding that point. Singles have a great value if you're all about just collecting, especially for a binder or something like that. And also to dig a little deeper into singles, let's talk about condition too, because that's like a subcategory. For people who want to do vintage, who don't mess with modern. Condition is its whole thing right now. If you buy something played, you're getting it at a good value in general. And also, a really good pro tip. This is like a free Patreon morsel right here. There are certain cards that hit an inflection point that are encapsulated that you can crack out for a binder. I remember doing a PSA 7 Shining Charizard first edition. Back then it was $500, probably a lot more today. But the point remains that there was always a grade, whether it's an 8, 7, 6, 5, or whatever it is on the scale, where the price encapsulated is somehow less than the played copy. You know what I mean? There's that weird disconnect. And if you can find that, that's typically a great value. It's something that a lot of seasoned collectors do. I do it also in Magic. It's not unique to Pokemon. It happens in a lot of other hobbies. I've even done it with Alpha. Some of the top sets in Magic, the same thing. I remember buying a PSA 7s for some reason. PSA 7 Tabernacle, I remember cracking that out in Legends. I've cracked out some Power, I think BGS 5s as well. And, going down that scale, you're still getting that card. You're literally getting the piece of history at the end of the day. It's just a little bit less condition. And honestly, I say it all the time. PSA 7, got a PSA 7 over there, got an authentic one that was signed by Arita, like a personalized one. That one's maybe PSA 6 at the end of the day. So even me, myself, like I've caught them all. I still mess with that condition because there's a lot of value there, and just want to throw that into the single category as well. Like condition's definitely its own value option. Now moving along, don't worry, we're not done. We're not even halfway done. A little sponsored sip. Artist binders, artist collections. This is going to be a big brain move for people who are new to the hobby, so bear with me. Collecting artists in one binder is one of the most rewarding experiences you can have as a collector. Not only is it so cool to see the timeline, especially with the old artists who are still here today, like Komiya, Himeno, Kasube, Nishida, of course, like Arita or like Sugimori, like the Godfathers. You could go through and see the evolution of their art over time. It's so much fun. It's so cool to see like how they progress as an artist, how their style changes. You know, why did Himeno start like tilting Pokemon all of a sudden? You know, there's so many like options to go through. Even the modern ones, like let's bow for Cao Cao real quick. Cao Cao is like, I don't know how they do it. Like, I don't know how Cao Cao does it. Like they're a new artist, but somehow I'm nostalgic for their new art. I don't know how it works, but it does. But that's another one. You know, that's a binder I have on my to-do list to do all the Cao Cao arts in one binder. It really comes together. Like my Komiya binder was probably about, I think it's about 200 cards in total, give or take. And I spent maybe a few $100s. Like I'm being very generous here, maybe $500. So when you price that out, you're talking a couple bucks a card. That's unbelievable. You know, even me with my cat sitting money at like 10 years old or whatever could afford to do that, you know, could afford to buy a couple of those cards. So the point is that these artist binders are, I think, a more seasoned thing that people do, like more of the serious collectors like on E4 and stuff like that know about them. And for new collectors, it's tough because it's not like a pre-packaged thing you could buy in the store. It's not like Champions Pass, Shining Fates or whatever, but it is a very rewarding thing to do. And usually it's very affordable, a great bang for your buck. And I know there's going to be hurdles with like Arita and, you know, Sugimori, especially when you like take in trophy cards and all that stuff, but you don't have to go that hard. That's what's great about it. Like be free, like do you can collect the card art you want or just skip, you know, the big like Trophy Kangaskhan or Unicarp or whatever. You just not do that one and, you know, just do the rest of them and it still hits. Like you still get so much value. It delivers. I look at my artist binders more than a lot. Again, caught them all. And I look at the artist binders probably more than I do like my big expensive cards. So there you go. Artist binders are fantastic. They're accessible to everybody. It's a great idea. I think it's a really rewarding, refreshing experience, you know, to do as a collector. Now, moving along. Still got a couple more to go through. Next up is a big one. Japanese. When I say Japanese, I mean Japanese. I mean all of it. Like select all it. Like just all of it. Japanese right now in general is a great value in two categories. You have one side where, you know, if you want to do WotC and stuff like that, you get the same art, not to mention all the Japanese sets were released before in the WotC sets, same art at a fraction of the price. So you have that mindset if that's what you want. You also have the other side of the fence, which is Japanese exclusive cards. Like they literally only exist in Japan. And there's a lot of them that are still very affordable. Like let's just stick in the golden era. You have things like Koros, like Lily Pad Mew, Not Awake promos, Masaki promos. Sure, they're a little bit expensive, but in play condition, still pretty affordable for how old they are, how historic they are. And then you expand beyond that, get into the newer stuff like the Charizard promo, a lot of the XY, Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield, Pokemon Center promos, modern are killing it, the cosplay Pikachus. You have such a great variety of options from, you know, very expensive to very affordable. And even the expensive stuff, if you get some of that stuff damaged, like Uniqlo Pikachu comes to mind, Uniqlo Pikachu, PSA 10, Warm Pikachu is going to have a price next to it, but if it's played, it's like lukewarm Pikachu. It's like, you know, room temperature Pikachu, not as warm. You know, again, apply these other aspects to Japanese. You know, let's do big brain moves here. Like apply the condition to some of those exclusive cards, brings down the price. You still get that card with unique art, unique history, win-win. So at the end of the day, Japan right now, it's really tough to find, you know, cards that actually are super expensive outside like the really high-end trophy stuff or whatever. Outside of that, majority of this stuff is super affordable. Again, you can get the same WotC art from base set for a fraction of the price, especially if you apply the condition aspect too. That's just savings for days, value for days. So again, it's just another option out there to consider if you're looking for something affordable. And next up, we're still rolling here. We're still going. Next up, if you are still, that's still not enough. You don't want to ever spend more than $100 total on everything. Right here. This is it. Right here. This is the answer. In fact, this book right here, Pokemon should give me a kickback for what I'm about to talk about in this book. This is considered the Bible. Straightforward. This is considered the Bible. The Silver Bible, Pokemon Book 2000. This contains every single card in Japanese from 1996 to 1999. And when I say every single card, I mean like every single card. I mean like the big trophy cards are in here. Like the Illustrator is in here. Like every card from 96 to 99 is in this book. And I bought this for maybe like $50. I bought it a while back. I think maybe today it retails at 100, somewhere in there, 100-ish, maybe. You probably, I don't know, apply the condition factor, maybe get a little bit less. I've looked at this thing so many times. I have looked at this thing more than I think I have every single card in this book. Majority of the cards in this I have, and I look at this more than the actual cards. So this right here alone is a great example of how you can look again at high res scans of all these cards for maybe $100. And why I'm doing the not so subtle flex of like catching them all is just to emphasize, like, I actually have those cards, like those super expensive cards, and I still look at that more than the actual cards. So that's another one back there. The Sugimori Game Boy, that's my guide from Red and Blue. It doesn't even have Mew in it. Looked at that thing, I don't know how many times. I don't even know what that costs today. Probably not even $50. You could buy that thing from like 1998. Official, whatever, strategy guide. There's plenty of items like that where you can get that same exact art, but just in a magazine, just in a promotional item, something like that. You get the same exact art, but on a different piece of paper for a fraction of the price. Just trying to throw that out there, for people who want like the Sugimori Charizard from CD promos, he's in there. You want the Sugimori Kangaskhan from Trophy Kangaskhan, he's in there for maybe $50 total. So there you go. Now, last but not least, I promised I'd give you a $0 option, and here it is. The last option for free is don't buy. And I'm not saying that like, okay, daddying up and being like, yeah, you don't have to buy it because they're not essential goods. While that's true, what I mean is digital images. And bear with me. NFTs are a thing. Hate them or love them. I'll do a video on it eventually. But the reality is digital is here to stay. It has a role now. More importantly, I think there's something to discovering images from back in the day and like making a little catalog, making a little folder. There's guys who do like entire Instagram profiles on like throwbacks from 90s. There's a guy named like Electabuzz something. He hopped in Discord one night. He's overseas somewhere. I can't remember. But the bottom line is this dude has like all these old pieces of art or like advertisements from the 90s, hand-drawn nostalgia, and it's all for free. But because it's organized, it's so cool. It delivers, it hits, it gives you that like nostalgia injection you're looking for $0. And also, I think there's like a chase to it. I think it's cool to like surf the web, if we're going to stay in the 90s lingo, to like go look for this stuff and find it and like, make your own personal collection at the end of the day of all these images. I've seen multiple like Tumblr accounts or, whatever thing it is, an Imgur album or something, where people just catalog all this stuff, and it's really cool. It's really cool to see like all the Southern Island arts next to each other, or all the, I don't know, Game Boy promotions or whatever it was back in the day. By the way, Polyworld was all over the place in the 90s promotions. I don't know what was going on. But anyway, there's a free option, is just doing these scans, like getting pictures of cards, cataloging them. It's something people already do. And I'm just trying to throw that value at you for literally zero. Like, you spend no money. It's just browsing the internet, and you can go that route of searching it yourself, or there's plenty of people who've done it for you who have like, all this stuff organized. And some people even do like different eras as well. A lot of people focus on the original because that's like the biggest pool of demand, but it's definitely a thing that happens. And I think if anything, it's only going to increase with all this NFT interest and all that stuff going on. But again, it's all free if you want to do it. So there it is. That's what I have. Those are my options. I hear a lot of people that are frustrated with scalping. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try to do something productive. I'm going to try to just lay it out and just give you some options to collect and explain those, give you a better understanding if you're new to the hobby. So there it is. Hopefully this is a video that will like stand the test of time and people can come back to and reference and find something that they enjoy within budget. So there it is. That's what I have. You know the deal. Let me know how I feel, and that's pretty much it, guys. Till next time.